TEVs pose a fraud. The CEO of Toyota recently issued a startling warning that delighted fans of combustion cars but infuriated manufacturers of electric vehicles. Koji Sato, their new CIO, despises the concept of switching to all-electric vehicles and is certainly not an EV enthusiast. However, why is Toyota now promoting EVs? Because they are being forced by international leaders. In spite of this opposition, Toyota has been quietly testing a whole new kind of fuel that has the potential to completely upend the EV movement and prevent the outlawing of combustion engines. Why does Toyota's CEO have a low opinion on EVs? What information concerning electricity does the world not want you to know? When will they release their new alternative fuel? This is precisely what happened. It all began with Akio Toyoda, the former CEO of Toyota, who was fired for not being willing to adopt electric vehicles. Why, therefore, would the CEO of one of the largest automakers in the world choose to defy what many see as an impending trend? Toyota took a very bold stance, identifying himself as a member of the silent majority of industry veterans who expressed doubt about the future of electric vehicles. The former CEO highlighted again and again that he thought investigating various powertrain technologies was a comprehensive approach to moving ahead. This covers hydrogen-powered cars, plug-in hybrids, Toyota's own fuel, and yes, battery electric cars as well. According to quotes from him, the bulk of those working in the car business remain mute. The silent majority is debating whether or not TEVs are a good alternative all by themselves, but they are unable to publicly voice their opinions since they believe EVs are just a fad. The correct response is still a mystery. We ought not to restrict ourselves to a single choice. Although many believed that electric vehicles EVs were the only way to achieve carbon neutrality, he maintained that carbon, not the kind of engine, was the true adversary. In addition, everyone went absolutely insane when the recently appointed CEO sounded a dire warning to global leaders about the repercussions of outlawing internal combustion engine vehicles. Later on, more about it. According to Toyota, there are other options for achieving global carbon neutrality targets than battery electric cars, or BEVs. Rather, he advocated for the need of having a varied selection of automobiles including fuel cell, hybrid, plug-in, and battery electric models. And now, although I acknowledge that he had spent his whole career building combustion engines, he also raised pertinent practical issues. And as you'll soon discover, Toyota has the support of other powerful manufacturers in this. He was aware that there will be severe shortages of vital elements such as lithium battery-grade nickel in the next 10 years, which might cause problems for the supply chain. Furthermore, Toyota expressed disapproval for the pace at which authorities anticipated the full transition to electric cars. He mentioned many possible obstacles, including issues with pricing, inconsistent customer preferences across geographies, and infrastructure limitations. Although Toyota's position may seem like a rejection of change, the company did not completely reject electric cars while he was in charge. The corporation set aside a sizable $70 billion over 9 years for electric cars. However, this amount is modest in comparison to certain rivals. But Toyota's focus was evident. Toyota sought to become more diverse. Their objective was to provide a wide variety of powertrains to meet the needs of a wide range of clients. However, an unpleasant event occurred. A significant Toyota was removed because of electrification issues. The 66-year-old founder's grandson of Toyota assumed more than only the position CEO. He embodied the values of the organization. Instead of merely forcing EVs on everyone, he wanted the average person to be allowed to choose what they really desired. But because of his opinions, Toyota was listed as one of the most obstructive businesses in the world in 2022, ranking with major oil firms like ExxonMobil to emphasize the disparity even more. While several manufacturers bragged of double-digit EV sales, Toyota's first EV, the BZ4X, had a rocky introduction due to safety recalls. In fact, throughout its first phase of sales, the company sold just around 1,200 units of zero-emission cars, accounting for less than one of total sales. Then Koji Sato entered the picture, someone everyone anticipated would steer Toyota toward an all-electric future. However, he stated something shortly after taking office that made many EV-loving global leaders shudder in horror. Although Sato is in favor of speeding up the manufacture of electric vehicles, he also said that Toyota would continue to concentrate on the new fuel source that they are developing. As it more in a moment. During the annual general meeting, shareholders put a lot of pressure on Toyota to accelerate the transition to electric vehicles. However, Toyota made it plain in response that they wanted to achieve carbon neutrality as well as broad EV adoption. Executive Vice President Masahiko Maeda highlighted that Toyota defied the shareholders by continuing to introduce hybrid cars because they wanted to provide a variety of car options. Nevertheless, it seems that neither American hedge funds nor European investors share his viewpoint. Among the many Danish funds who voiced their worries was Academy Car Pension. The fund had taken the initiative to confront Toyota, raising concerns about the company's continuous negative climate lobbying and charging it with trying to weaken government initiatives to gradually replace combustion engines with electric vehicles. Other significant stakeholders, including the Church of England, App7, and the retail brand group, shared their worries. The public, environmentalists, and shareholders have all been increasingly outspoken in their dissatisfaction. Notably, Greenpeace Japan staged a demonstration calling for an end to the manufacture of fossil fuel-powered vehicles near Toyota's headquarters. Given that Toyota's standing in the environmental community has undoubtedly suffered, the business got the lowest grade from Greenpeace in its 2021 annual assessment of major manufacturers' decarbonization efforts. While Toyota's leadership has been consistent in their commitment to the EV transition, the company currently trails behind its counterparts in terms of the percentage of overall sales that are EVs. Despite having set a goal of selling 3.5 million battery EVs annually by 2030, they clearly experience both external and internal stresses. It's also important to remember that Toyota is not the only company opposed to EVs. This is also echoed by businesses like Mercedes, BMW, Porsche, Honda, and Stellantis. As China currently controls the majority of the raw materials used to make batteries, BMW advised against focusing only on EVs as this might lead to increased reliance on a small number of nations. He underlined that there is still a demand for cars with combustion engines since they provide people with an option to older, maybe less efficient automobiles if they are unable to switch to electric vehicles right now. Additionally, Zipser has previously opposed outright prohibitions on the sale of combustion engines. The CEO of Stellantis and Jeep, Carlos Tavares, also issued a warning, stating that an inflexible prohibition on combustion cars would have uncontrollable societal repercussions. Since AVs are presently more costly than their hybrid or fossil fuel equivalents, switching to them exclusively might render owning a vehicle out of reach for many people, especially those in the middle class. Having spent more than 3 decades in engine development, Honda's CEO, however, acknowledged that while the change may seem dangerous to him personally, choices must be made with the company's best interests in mind. Now for the greatest announcement, the introduction of Toyota's ammonia engine, which has the potential to completely destroy EVs. Yes, you heard correctly, people. This engine, developed in partnership with GAC Motors, resolves every problem associated with combustion engines. The greatest thing, though? This could be installed in any current internal combustion engine vehicle, allowing you to retain your vehicles longer without worrying about a government ban. Ammonia NH3, which is made up of 1 nitrogen and 3 hydrogen atoms, offers an exciting future for internal combustion engines. Its lack of carbon atoms ensures that when burnt, it will release very little CO2. Co-developed with Toyota, GAC's prototype can operate on liquidized ammonia, a capability previously only seen in big equipment and ships. Unquestionably revolutionary is the discovery that a 2-liter, 4-cylinder engine could generate 161 horsepower while emitting 90 less carbon dioxide. With its lower emissions, this idea has the genuine potential to completely transform the car industry. Toyota has just started testing a car that has drawn a lot of attention from across the world, adding credence to the anti-EV narrative. The company's views on hydrogen and electric vehicles were discussed by Toyota's new CIO, Koji Sato, at a recent endurance race at Japan's Suzuka circuit. He underlined that Toyota must maintain hydrogen as a feasible alternative going forward, even as he acknowledged the need for the company to adopt an EV-first mentality. According to Sato, the supply chain for hydrogen's manufacturing and transportation has to change for it to become a major role. They are definitely going toward electric vehicles, FOSs. By 2026, they want to build a new EV platform, and by 2030, they want to sell around 3.5 million EVs globally. However, they're not prepared to give up on hydrogen. Sato's remarks allude to a more comprehensive goal on Toyota's part, to be ready for every eventuality when it comes to energy. They are now testing their new hydrogen racing fuel cells, which promise power and efficiency. Despite this, Toyota made history by introducing the first hydrogen-powered car to compete in auto races with the launch of their newest green vehicle, a Corolla driven by liquid hydrogen. Toyota's hydrogen-powered Corolla represented the company's dedication to green technology by competing in the Super TQ 24-hour race at the Fuji Speedway. Right now, however, the racing vehicle is more of an experiment than a commercial product. The hydrogen Corolla, while being chastised for its cautious approach to electrification, is an electric vehicle that employs a combustion engine instead of gasoline. The road plan that Toyota just announced is ambitious. By 2026, they expect TEVs to have an amazing range of more than 600 miles, and by 2028, they expect it to be close to 900 miles. They plan to introduce the first of these next-generation EVs under the Lexus premium brand. This car will use a state-of-the-art lithium-ion battery. Ultra-aerodynamic automobile designs and the use of gigacasting technology for accelerated vehicle manufacturing are among Toyota's future objectives. Although there is a clear emphasis on electric and hydrogen technologies, Toyota is not giving up on internal combustion engines. They want to keep growing so that customers throughout the world may choose from a variety of offerings. Do you believe Toyota need to completely give up on combustion engines? Or do you support them in their quest to discover a different course of action to resolve the energy crisis? Tell me in the comments section below. We just posted a video on important news that might harm the electric vehicle market as a whole. If you want to be genuinely surprised by what's going to happen with EVs, definitely check it out.